What is going on, guys? Just kind of goofing around here. Figured I would go live. I've got a rig that I've recently reconfigured, kind of consolidated a lot of the GPUs into one rig frame. I had a 12 GPU, actually it ended up being like a 10 GPU Veta 6 GPU rig frame, two on top of each other, and I kind of consolidated everything down into one 11 GPU frame. So anyway, there was the way I have the fans configured, I actually have the front fans blowing in, right? And then the back fans blowing out. And some of my followers and viewers were saying that I should probably turn the back fans to blow in as well, because it's an open air frame. So there's no like channeling or anything of the airflow. So it would make sense that as long as you dump a lot of cool air on the GPUs, then maybe you might get a little bit better of a temperature drop, you know, and be more efficient. So this is what it looks like right now. But yeah, so like these fans here are blowing in, right? And then the fans on the back over there are blowing out. And I think I'm going to turn those around. I'm also going to do a little bit of cable management right here because I don't like to see these cables. I'm big on like hiding cables and stuff, so this is kind of funny. But anyway, so I might yeah, throw this rig up on the table and actually reconfigure a little bit. But before I get to that, let me show you what the current temperatures are. I'm still on Hive OS right now, but that's another thing that I kind of wanted to do in the stream, is actually use the mass installer utility from Hashrate OS to get this rig up and running on Hashrate OS. So we might do that after the fact, after I reconfigure it a little bit. So here's the temperatures right now, just for documentation purposes. It's actually not bad. I mean, I don't even know why this one's at 43. That makes me feel like it's not even working, but it might not be actually, because the hash rate it went from 16 something to 15 something. So on the last reboot, so this rig or this GPU right here might not even be mining. So, but anyway, we're below 50, you know, 60 and below on all the GPUs. These are not BIOS modded, so honestly, a BIOS mod, this one right here, actually, let me rephrase that. This GPU 0, I did BIOS mod using the Polaris one-click BIOS mod, or one-click timing patch BIOS mod, and I did that within the Hive OS. And you can see it gets a little bit more, just a little bit more, not much, than a non-BIOS modded card. And that's because I'm mining CCX, I'm mining Cryptonote protocol, so you know that kind of makes sense that it's not going to really see a huge increase. So I might not even worry about BIOS mining these cards at all, because for 0.06 increase, that's just not a lot. So anyway, yeah, so I've got, this is a mixed rig. It's got 580s and 570s, but yeah, let's go ahead, and I think what I'll do is, that's the temperatures. Let me think here. Let me try to get my thoughts straight. Let's go ahead and, yeah, I think that's all I want to show you before we actually switch the fans around. So I just want to document the actual current temperatures. It's been mining for a little while now, so I think that this is pretty accurate as far as temperatures goes. So let's go ahead, and you can see the total rig is getting 1546. But again, I think that this one card right here is not really mining this one right here, because it's got such a low temperature. I would say that at a minimum I would need to restart this rig to get that one back up and running. But anyway, because it was doing like 1620, I think, 16.2 before. Anyway, So let me get that all up and running. I'm going to shut the rig down first. Let's do that. We're going to do maybe a little bit of cable management and a little bit of, well, we're going to change the fans around for sure. Now that we've documented the actual fan speed or the temperature. So I'm going to leave this up. I won't refresh this, so this should stay. You know, maybe I'll do a screenshot here. Hang on. Do a screenshot, and then that way we can document. And once we turn the fans around, we can see if it makes any difference. I don't think it will, but don't know for sure. Something else that I noticed is, like, here, it's really cool air in the front here, but towards the back it gets hot. So maybe they're right. Maybe once I switch these fans around to blow actually in from the back, then it actually might be a lot cooler. So we're going to see. But it's definitely cool in the front and hot in the back. Let me check the chat, see if anybody's in here. Yeah, there's a couple people watching. Okay, cool. Nobody's talking though. That's okay. I'm okay with that. So I did tell this rig to shut down, but it's not. Yeah, I did this earlier too, where I clicked shut down, but it just stayed here forever. So I don't know what's going on with it. I don't have a monitor on it, so I don't know for sure what's going on. It seems to have shut down, but it's still on. Let's go ahead and power it down. All right, so let me get it back on the rig, or back on the table, and we will take a look, see what's going on with it. I just gotta reconfigure some cameras and stuff so that y'all can see what's going on here. And this thing's heavy. Get a little bit better gain on there. Give me just a second here. You might be able to see that a little bit. Should be all right. A little dark, but not too bad. So all I'm going to do is, this is the back. So I'm going to reconfigure that to actually blow in instead of out like it is. So right now the air is coming in the front, cool air coming in the front and out the back. But these are not blower cards, so these are, you know, they have regular fans, you know, on the side. So, you know, I don't know if actually having it like that is better, or if maybe if I change these around and have them blow cool air in as well, because the heat's rising. Like several of my subscribers or viewers, followers, whatever, have pointed out. So the heat's rising, and it would seem that just putting cooler air on the GPUs might be better. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to, let me grab some tools real quick. So the first thing I'll do is take this off. I should be able to, I think I will be able to switch it around pretty easily. Although this beta frame is usually a little bit difficult, this kind of stuff. I think I have enough power cable on the fans to actually switch it around fairly easily, so we'll see. All right, so what I need to do is probably, I might be able to get away with just swapping these outer brackets, the four corners, to, see here. Yeah, I should be able to just switch them over to the corner of each in GPU. So let's see if that's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll see. Yeah, I think Dennis Stone was one of the ones that recommended this from the Aeon community. So thanks to him for pointing that out. I kind of think that we're not going to see a whole lot of a difference in the temperature. Not that we even needed it, because the temperature was pretty good to begin with. Alright, so let me think about this. Going to need to have it this way. I need to unplug power on the second one. I have to readjust this stuff here maybe a little bit. I kind of have the power for the fans a little bit loose because I knew I might be moving them around. Might actually work here. if I got this right. So looks like I would be able to just go outside like this. So on this setup here, I'm essentially just taking the four corners. If you're familiar with a Veta frame and how it is organized, taking the four corners and actually changing them to the other side of the fans so that they are actually blowing, you know, out as well, like this. Airflow is this way. Thinking that this is going to work, but I don't know if it's going to actually benefit us a lot. So now I've got the little brackets on each corner organized the other way. So before they were over here and it was blowing this way. So now it's blowing, actually I'm sorry. Before it was blowing, yeah, that's right. Before it was blowing this way, basically channeling the air from the front to the back. But because there's no channel here, there's no enclosure. So it's like basically just, you know, the air is flowing up, right? So this might actually help because this is going to be blowing air into, along with these in the front. So it's like just dumping a whole lot of cold air on the GPU. So let's see if this is going to work a little bit better. But again, it is, lost a T-slot nut here somewhere. Where is that thing? Weird. Where did it go? The one side came off, so I need to find that. Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, so the temperatures were pretty good to begin with, so I don't know if this is going to actually help or not, but we'll see. What I'm going to try to do is just kind of feed this through here. I've got videos on these little T-slot nuts on this Veta frame thing. They're a little bit of a pain, but if you line them up and let them slide down into the rail already twisted, I guess you could say, then it actually is a little bit easier. One is not going. I'm pretty clumsy. All right, let's try this again. The trick is, you know, it's hard to get them to spin once they're in the channel, in the rail. Kind of hard to get them to spin. So if you feed them in the top, then sometimes it's a little bit easier. Alright, so I think I have them all in there, but this one over here is not spun yet inside to catch. See if we can make it. I've got one that's not spun yet inside. The T-slot nut over here is not spun round yet, so let's see. Hopefully we can get it to spin. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I've got videos on it. Yeah, this one's going to be a pain. Dang it. Basically, it's not spinning inside there, so I'm going to have to undo them all and then slide it up and see if I can get it to go in there, which sucks because I had three of four actually connected, or actually spun inside there and secure and everything, and then now it's not, or the one's not. So here. Wish I had like a close-up cam on this so y'all can see what this is like. In my frame video, I actually get some pretty good close-ups of what's going on here. Such a pain. I think I got it now. All right, cool. I think we got it. All right, so the other thing I wanted to do was actually maybe do a little bit of finer tune cable management on the front. Because I think I can actually hide these cables that are showing here. These right here. I think I'm going to be able to actually tuck them underneath, behind the fans here. I think there's just enough room to actually do it. So that's what I was going to try to do. Hide that. Just to make it look super cool, you know. Clean and all. Probably gonna have to take this front fan assembly off though. So whenever I was configuring this originally, I didn't think about the fans being, you know, in the position that they are, and so I kind of left it a little bit open as far as how the cables were ran. So I think I'm going to be able to get them a little bit more hidden than I had originally. Even if it's something like that. I know that kind of blocks the airflow a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to matter too much. I'm like really far away from the chat, so I can't really see if you guys are talking or not. There we go. I think that's going to be super clean looking. think these all spin pretty easily, so I might go to just not worry about it too much. I have a little bit too much bulge in here in the cables, kind of pushing on the fans a little bit. All right, I think we are kind of good to go. A little bit of bulge there from the cables actually pushing out kind of hard, but here. Not too bad, I guess. All right, so I think we are ready to go ahead and power it back up. Kind of clean looking, I guess. So now we've got airflow going from the front, cool air from the front, and then it should be blowing cool air in from the back as well. So this should be kind of interesting to see what happens here as far as temperatures go. I'm just going to put this on the floor and connect all the power and get it back up and running. because it's so dense with 11 GPUs and like a 6 GPU frame, it's pretty heavy. All right, we are ready to power it on. Whew, it's kind of hot in here. All right, let's see. What's up, Bitcoin Jake? King James, what's up, man? No, I don't have a temperature gun. What's up, Crypto Jason? CR, what's up? TXT Peer, what's up? Nah, I'm just kind of goofing around. I have a, I don't know, have some subscribers and stuff that said to put the rear fans actually facing in and blowing cool air from the back as well. So I was just going to kind of play around with it and see if it made a difference. I kind of don't think it will, but what I did experience was there was cool air here. If I just put my hand over it, there's cool air here and warm air back here. So I'm thinking maybe now if it's cool all over, then that's actually a good thing, right? What's up, Loot Patient? Yeah, we lit it up for sure. Let's see what it's doing on Hive OS, and then if we get it up and running and everything looks good, then I will try to do the mass installer to install Hashrate OS on it. I think we actually lost connectivity for a second there. Maybe we're back now though. Let me know in the chat if you guys can see and hear me. Not see me, but okay, now you can see me. But at least see my screen here. All right, so I hear the rig kind of cranking up now, so it should be actually mining CCX now, or sometime real soon. All right, so there we go. We got, looks like we're mining CCX, so that's good. So I just want to kind of let it run for a little bit because these temperatures are really low right now because it just started. So we're going to compare it with what we screenshot here after we let it run for a little bit. This is a really good example of silicon lottery kind of thing. You can see right here the micron memory, all the micron memory GPUs actually get 1.4K, and the Hynix memory gets 1.2K with the same exact settings. So if you're ever wondering if one type of memory is better than the other, then you can clearly see it right here. I don't know how long we should wait, but just at first look, I mean, this thing has been mining for, a minute or so, 2 minutes so far. And these are pretty low temperatures compared to prior to changing the fans around. So, there might be something to it. I'm gonna give it to like 1150 and see where we're at. TXT peer, I am not mining ETH. What's up, Red Panda? How did you just now get home? That's crazy. What have you been up to? So GPU 0, as I pointed out earlier at the top anyway, it is the only BIOS modded with the Polaris one-click BIOS mod editor. It's the only one that I did that to. So you can see right here that compared to the other RX 580s, it's just slightly better with like 0.06. Yeah, I don't know what the power consumption on ETH would be. Let's look at what it is right now on CCX. So right now at the wall on CCX, it is 1141. 1150. We'll call it 1150. That's never going to focus. Give me just a second. See if I can fix that. I need some other stuff here. Hang on. I gotta turn on everything auto for it to focus, I think. Yeah, there we go. So 1152, 1150, we'll call it 1150 at the wall. If I was mining ETH, it would probably be 1300, 1400 maybe. Because you can see right here, I mean, each GPU is only, 50 watts, 60 watts. I mean, super low power draw. I'm just kind of goofing around with this rig, so it's not like fine-tuned or anything like that. I probably would get a little bit more than this for a GPU. I would imagine, maybe with some more power. It's at 875, so I don't know, maybe like 925 maybe might get it more, but that's just where I'm at with this rig right now. So let's see if we can, yeah, the temps look good. Pretty solid 50% fans. I mean, I don't know. Pretty good. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this rig running Hashrate OS using the mass installer. Let's give it a shot. Let's go and find out what the IP address for this rig is. 123. Okay. And just to point out real quick though, this is prior to the fan adjustment. So you had some in the 60s, high 50s, and then this is after, which actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's really not that big of a difference. Yeah, it looks like about the same, except for this one. 44. It's probably not even mine, and there's probably something wrong with it. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it looks like they're really close to the same temperatures as before. So probably not a lot gained there, but maybe just a tad, maybe 1 degree or something. All right, so let's go and run the mass installer for installing Hashrate OS on a running rig that's running Hive OS. So let's see if we can do this here. I'm gonna go 192.168.1.123. All right, so it found the rig, no problem there. So I'm going to add to install. Nope, I have to check the box first and then add to install. Install. You could give it a new password. I'm not going to worry about that. Actually, I will. All right, and then we are going to click install. This does take a little while. So we're actually pulling the rig from Hive OS right here to Hashrate OS. So it should show up in here eventually as a new rig under my logon here. So it already sees it. That's cool. It's already added it to the console here, dashboard. I didn't know it was that fast as far as showing up in the console there. So I heard the rig just kind of crank down a little bit. Sounds like it might be restarting. You can see how it throws a default config on here. Looks like it's trying to mine ETH, play more, probably a bunch of default settings and stuff. So we'll get to that once. Hopefully it fires back up and has no problems, and we are able to configure it as we had on Hive OS. It does take a little bit of time though. We did this the other night and on a NVIDIA rig, and it works seamlessly. It was so slick. So I'm hoping it works the same on AMD. So now both fan racks or whatever you want to call them are actually blowing in onto the GPUs. So maybe we'll experience some. I mean, it seems a little bit cooler up front because before it was hot up here. Now it seems a little bit cooler. So maybe overall we'll see a little bit of drop in temperature. I really want to go ahead and configure this rig for CCX. Let's see if we can do that real quick. Yeah, nothing. So we're not going to be able to do much. Maybe. Let's see here. So because the rig has no config, we need to go into rigs here, edit, yeah, I don't think it's going to let us do much until it gets up and running. That would make sense. When we did this before, it was, like I said, super slick. It worked flawlessly, so I'm wondering if this is gonna... I don't remember how long we waited. It was quite a while, so I think maybe I'm just getting impatient. I do see a lot of network activity on that particular port, so I think it's still going. It's probably just downloading the image. So I'm just going to let it rock. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get something to drink. Uh-oh. Looks like it timed out. That's not good. All right, so now it's probably in a state of complete non-working status. So it's not on Hive OS and it's not on Hashrate OS, I would assume. Let me power it off. I'd have to plug in a monitor most likely to see what it's actually doing, what the status is, which sucks. All right, so well, there it goes. I was gonna say that it failed, you know, the OS install, so it might be like completely corrupted, but yeah, it's got a looks like a pretty fatal error there. It says kernel panic, not syncing, uncompression error. I'm thinking that it is done, and we're probably going to have to reburn, you know, an image to the USB because I'm using those little cheap USBs. So most likely I'm going to have to burn the OS to it again instead of using the mass installer like we wanted to. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that on the stream or not though, because last time I tried this, it crashed my machine whenever I was doing it during the stream, so we'll see here. We are going to try to burn Hashrate OS to the USB drive. Let's see if we can do this. It still thinks it's Hive, so that's okay. I wonder if we would have left it. It doesn't matter. We'll go ahead and try to burn Hashrate to it. So let's launch Balena Etcher. All right, Serpent XFS. I always say that wrong. XSF. Thanks, man. Special Forces. Serpent Special Forces. Thanks, man. Serpent X Special Forces. I'll never get that right. All right, so let's try and find the image. I think it's nope. All right, so I'm probably gonna have to go and download the image. Actually, I'm sure I have it. Let me navigate to it here real quick. I don't think that they've updated it, so go there. So last time it crashed right here, so it looks like I think I've gotten a little bit further than before whenever it crashed, so maybe it won't. So it'll be kind of cool if it doesn't crash. Happy holidays to you too, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Just kind of goofing off, doing some, you know, OS stuff and fan reconfigs and stuff like that. Nothing too I think the hash rate OS image is like 1.6 gig or something like that, so that's why this is a little bit faster than some of the other OSs that are larger. All right, and if you notice that it didn't eject the disk, so there's some settings in here if you're using Balena to burn images. If you go to the little tools icon here, you can see right here, eject on success. If you uncheck that, then it won't eject your drive before you can write to it. A lot of people have the problem of burning the image and then the disk doesn't show up and then they don't know what to do. Whenever all they really have to do is disconnect the drive or remove the drive and reinsert the drive, the USB drive, thumb drive, and it'll show back up. But if you do change this eject on success, then it won't actually do that, and you'll be able to have just access to it without having to remove it again, which is kind of cool. All right, so now we've got a mining OS drive, and then I think it's under config. There's a token.txt. Right here we have to paste in our token, our rig token, to identify the rig. So if we go to hash rate OS and we click on the rig, and then we click on system info. I'm not going to do it on the screen though, because it's got some other info in there. So I'm going to click on system info and then go down to the bottom, and there's a rig token ID down there, basically like a specific, you know, token. I don't know how else to explain it, but they have a copy button that you just copy it and paste it into this token.txt file, save it, eject your drive, and then boot the rig to it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just copying the token and then I'm pasting it into token.txt, saving it, closing that. Shoot. I was supposed to be off of the screen. My bad. All right, so I'll blur that out. But anyway, so let's see here. So now we can eject. Actually, I'll probably just recreate this rig anyway. So now we can just eject that drive. And then we can boot the rig to it. Hopefully. And it should work. All right. So I just plugged in the USB drive, turned it on. Let's see what happens. It looks pretty good so far. Way further than we got before, right? The message there on the screen says replacing data partition. That might take a little bit. Okay, I just want to let it rock. I don't know, sometimes these things take a little bit of time, so I just want to let it go. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, but I get the feeling that something's wrong. So maybe we'll try a reboot, but it still says resizing data partition. Yeah, it definitely seems to be hung up, so I'm going to power it down and power it back up and see what happens here. Probably not a good thing, but might have to reburn the image or something. Okay, so that time it went past the resizing data partition stage. Seems to be going. All right, so sometimes it's amazing what a reboot will do. So you can see, you know, it all went blue, so that means that it sees the rig, you know, it's communicating, I guess. So now we should be able to, yeah, it says worker online, so we should be able to actually configure it. So let's see, we go to mining settings. We're gonna go to SavageMine wallet, conceal. Yeah, I don't know why I have Team Red Miner in there, but let's go ahead and fix that. Let's go to wallets and then edit and then conceal. Oh, that's why. I guess that they don't have XMR stack in here for some reason. Okay. We'll just let it rock with Team Red Miner, I guess. I think I tried this before and I ran into some problems, so we'll see what happens here. It doesn't see all the cards though, for sure. Only sees 7. Might have to end up doing some pretty serious troubleshooting here, as far as getting all the GPUs to show up and all that stuff. So it is hashing away here, and everything looks okay except for it's only showing 7 GPUs. Let's go ahead and throw it a reboot just as a first step to possibly correct this. I don't know, Damaged Squirrel, to be honest. I don't know. I know that there is a ton of stuff that they're working on. So I don't know as far as like fixing or developing what they already have, whether or not they're going to just put on top of that. I think that they're more focused on the end goal. You know, there's a lot of development going on in the background that they're not implementing as they go, you know. All right, so now we got 11. GPUs, and let's see what. All right, so we did successfully get it up and running on Hashrate OS. We just didn't do it the slickest way with the tool. Man, the thing is really firing up over there. You hear that? But there's no, I don't have overclock settings or anything, so it is probably going to pop a breaker or pop the circuit break, the protective circuit on the power strip. Let's get some overclock settings in here real quick. Yeah, see, it's all zeroed. So let's see here. I want to say that I had it's 1160, 1860. Let's see if that settles it down a little bit. I think it's super loud. It's only showing 660 watts right here, so that's kind of low, but all right, so we are up and running mining on Hashrate OS with the same rig that we were previously mining Hive OS, or using Hive OS. It took a little bit of finagling to get it to work. It did, for whatever reason, it didn't work with the mass installer tool like we used the other night, and it was so slick and it was so perfect. But tonight it didn't work that way. Probably something I was doing, I don't know. But we are up and running on Hashrate OS now, and everything looks okay. Slightly less hash rate as far as like right now goes. Again, I haven't tuned this or anything, so there's probably some things I need to do to get this back up to, I think Hive OS was showing 1.4, something like that, 1402, right, for most of these. Like you can tell, like this one right here is the one, GPU 0 is the one that's OC'd, or I'm sorry, BIOS modded. So it's got 1.39. It was 1.46 on Hive OS. Not a big deal though. It's just something that I probably need to play around with some settings. It's actually increasing now a little bit, so maybe over time it will, at least catch up with Hive OS. So we'll see, but it looks good at this point. I'm pretty happy with it. So I think that is going to do it for me for tonight so far. I will see you guys tomorrow night probably. Probably won't do anything on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. But tomorrow I might do a premiere sometime during the day, probably at 12:30 or so. And then I'll do a live stream tomorrow night. So no idea what I'll do it on at this point. I don't really have anything planned, so we'll just kind of have to wing it. But I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for stopping in. Stay savage, everybody.